Well, the facts are that the Colorado River is going to potentially have a shortage by 2016, that the people that know the Colorado River the best, the Department of Interior and the 7 basin states, are saying that there could be a shortfall within the next 50 years as much as 3.2 million acre feet. That's more water than the entire state of Arizona gets from the Colorado River, and that other commissions have indicated that we need to look outside our basin for water supplies in the future because of population growth. And so somewhere along the line, somebody has to bring some semblance of reason into the discussion on water management planning.
I mean, it just seems that wherever there's people, there's going to be demand for water. And it seems like the only way we're going to be able to manage this is we have to manage growth.
And clearly identify for people that some of these options are, you either need to put them on the table and let them stand on their own, and if they're not viable, stop talking about them, or if they're viable, start working on them, because we're in competition with the rest of the southwestern United States for water.
You know, I think that what we have accomplished is some gathering scientific data to show us where we are, and I think that's important.
We're in competition with the rest of Arizona for water. And we're definitely in competition from the people the water basins that surround us, because we have the most surface water internally in the state, except for the Salt River. But our streams and creeks are national treasures, and we should try to find a way of preserving them instead of allowing them to go by the wayside like so many other streams and creeks have done.
Letting them go by the wayside means there's no water.
Eventually, that's what groundwater pumping does to streams and creeks. So we have to conserve more. We have to find ways to reuse water better. We have to find ways to make sure that when water hits the ground, we slow it down enough so it percolates, and we have to deal with irrigation methods. Most importantly, we have to recognize that we can't meet once in a while and think that we're going to find a solution and deal with this in an appropriate way. This requires an intensity that every major city down in Phoenix metropolitan area, is out there looking for water. And we're sitting back going, well, our competition's out looking for water, but we're just sitting back arguing with ourselves.
I moved to Arizona in 2002 and got involved in water issues, and everything you're presenting here, and I know how hard you fought for it down in the legislature. It feels like we are still where we were, only we know a little bit more, but that we still don't have any action that is addressing the needs. Am I wrong, right?
You're right. People need to understand the situation we're in. Tomorrow, if all you care about is the next 7 years, you're going to have water. Next 20 years, you'll have water. But each one of those years, you're impacting the nearby stream or creek and the groundwater table more and more and more.
Well, I thought the council got it. They asked some pretty hard questions.
I think the council got it. I think they understood that this is not a problem you can continue to push off into the future, that the longer you do that, the worse the crisis will be, and that we aren't just alone in this issue. The city of Sedona is not an island unto itself. Anything that's done in the city of Sedona, whether it's land management or water conservation or whatever, affects the entire water basin. And the same with every other municipality and county and entity within the Verde River Basin.
I don't want to scare people, and you may not want to answer this question, but the loss of the water is not an overnight thing. It's a gradual thing, so we can project and see how far into the future. But one day, what happens when someone turns on their faucet? They don't get water, they get air.
Well, that happens now with individual wells. People all over the Verde Valley are losing their wells because of dropping in water table. Now they'll have to deepen and then go down to the next layer and start to pump from that. It costs thousands of dollars to do that. And so if you wake up in the morning and your tap opens up and the water comes out, you're happy. But if you go over to your checkbook and you say, okay, I have this much money in my bank account, and you call up the bank and they say, oh no, every time you get up in the morning, a little bit more of your bank account drifts away. Well, that's what's happening with water. Every day we get up and open up the tap, a little bit more of our groundwater leaves. It doesn't get replenished as fast as we're using it. And so we're creating a larger and larger deficit. So the faster we can turn this around, the faster we can change the debate from one of just how do we augment water from other areas at much higher cost and economic value, to how do we sustain our quality of life, our economic viability by what we have today and use it to the best abilities that we have. Because it is going to be very hard for a region like this, with its population and its location, to be able to compete to augment water in from hundreds of miles away. And the 6 surrounding basins, 6 surrounding water basins, have less water than we do.
Anything you'd like to add?
Well, I guess in the end, it comes down to what type of leaders are we looking at? As I said to the council, when I was at the legislature, I was told at the caucus meeting, my first caucus meeting, I said, what about 5 years from now? What about 10 years from now? Well, we're only elected for 2 years, so we're only going to deal with our platform for a 2-year period. And so every 2 years that goes by and we don't deal with the issues of the state of Arizona, we see the results. And we've seen those results in our pension plans, in our transportation systems, in our education system. You name it, Arizona has continued to not look out into the future. And this area, the same as with water. We have to look out into the future and protect the resource that is critical to our ability to live here and our quality of life and our economic viability.
Water is essential for life, and we have to have it.